Welcome back to another episode of the TwistedTubz podcast. I am your host, Stephen Tumbly, aka TwistedTubz. Brian Regan is back, and he is aka Brian's Action Figure Reviews. Welcome back, friend.
Hey man, how are you today?
Good, I'm good. I'm actually bouncy. You know what I'm saying?
Bouncy.
I'm fucking. I've lost my sanity, but it's all good. I don't think I had much to begin with before I started this thing.
Anyway, you don't need that thing anyway.
Pew 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 pew.
Ow.
So, like, how's your week been?
Same as every other week. Inside.
Yeah. See, isn't that just such a weird thing? Because that's such a natural thing to ask someone. How was your day? How was your week? And now it's like I went out to the back for a while today.
Got up, looked at the walls, still the same.
That's what it is. I got up, had my coffee, looked at the walls, tried not to go ballistically mad, and yeah, kind of succeeded until I went to bed and rotated and started fresh like Groundhog.
Yeah.
Over again. That's basically the word right now. Like,
go to bed early and do it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, and like you're like myself though in a lot of ways. You don't like. Not every night will see your bed see you early. Like, I'm
like, it's different when I'm working. All right, like I go to bed about 12, but when you've nothing to get up for, what's the point?
No structure.
Bed early.
Yeah, there's no structure. I mean, if you go to bed at
fluid
like 2
as
or 3,
anything.
I mean, with me, it's a little different because if I went to bed at like 4 in the morning, my kids have me up at 7:30 because they just no concept of staying in bed early because they're young. The older daughter, obviously Grace, she will sleep in until 1 or 2 in the day if you leave her, because she's at that age where they're just like, I couldn't be arsed. But but you know what I mean? Angsty teens, it's a real thing. But yeah, I'm gonna jump in with the first question. So since we're like here, you're a big action figure collector. As you can see in the background, folks. Is it this way? I don't know. I don't know what direction this video is going to be pointing at you. So I'm just going to go like this.
Behind me.
This. Behind Brian. Yeah, so you're like obviously a big action figure collector. You know what I mean? So I think this is a two-parter. We're going to start with the first one. First one is, where do you lie on Funko Pops? Like, obviously they're not action figures, but do you have like a fondness for them? Do you hate them? Where do you fall with that?
Do you want my honest answer?
Of course, yeah.
I don't like them, but it's not because of what they are. It's because of how much space they take up in retail stores.
Right, okay. Because the reason I ask you is because I have one right here.
Like, I don't have any problem with them in
general. Can you see
that? Yeah, I can. Yeah.
And it actually does this. Yeah. Do you know what that's from? That's actually the final scene.
From Funko Hell, that's what it's from.
Funko Hell. But it's actually the final scene from Batman Begins where Jim Gordon hands Batman the Joker card. Or shows him the Joker card in the thing. That's what that's actually from. That was actually a present as well for the birthday from like my sister and her fiance. So yeah, and it's crazy. The reason I ask is because obviously, like you would have had Funko Pops before, but you probably got rid of them or whatever else over time. But this year, and it was weird in the pandemic, I ended up with like 20 something Funko Pops like by the end of 2020. Like people were buying them for my birthdays and just gifting them to me, and I was kind of like, this is fucking awesome. But I ended up with like a 10-inch Chucky. Well, but it's pretty damn awesome. The reason I wanted to ask you that was because obviously I know, like, people can see in the background, you're an avid action figure collector. And I always kind of wondered, is like Funko Pop in the action figure collecting world like a taboo, and like people are totally against it, like, or what's the story?
Well, like most of the people that I talk to and stuff, most people I talk to hate Funko Pops basically, because like I have nothing against them myself really, but like you may not know, or you probably do know now, but like the stuff I collect is very difficult to get in brick and mortar here in a regular shop. And most of the time, it's because all the like pop culture space, if you want to
It's
call it
taken up.
that, is taken up by Funko Pops.
Yeah. No, I look. I mean, I can totally get that because, as you know, I started collecting the Todd McFarlane DC action
Mm.
figures recently, and and I can't seem to find any of them locally. Like maybe
Online
inside
only.
now, obviously nothing's open at the moment, so there's that. But when shops were open, like Smith's Toy Store and things like that, it was a selection, maybe like the first wave or something. But
Yeah.
trying to find like
First wave syndrome.
yeah, but I mean, trying to find like Thomas Wayne or like Devastator or and at the same time, just some of them I'm not a fan of. Like the death metal run, I mean, as DC goes, I was never a big fan of that. I never really fell into it. You know what I mean? Like the death metal Batman and like the crazy kind of like laughing, or is it the Joker that laughs and things like that? It looks amazing, like the concept of that whole
I
run.
haven't read it. I haven't read it myself, but I think it does look
I
really
never
cool.
fell into that because you know what I mean. It's like I mean. You read your comics, man. You know what I mean, and you do fall in. Like I mean, I love the White Knight, the version they did. It was like the Joker ends up being like the good guy in kind of a weird, kind of way in the comic book and things like that. That's not a spoiler. That's kind of what the comic's about. Uh, but
No, but what you buy, what you read, you want to buy. Like
exactly, it's good. It's so
like recently, I've been reading
what
Thanos Wins. I think it's called,
you
and
told
it's
me about
basically a
this. Yeah,
story. It's basically a story where like Frank Castle, the Punisher, becomes the cosmic Ghost Rider. Now I haven't shown this on my channel. I may have by the time this goes out, but
this is an exclusive. So
today I received this,
oh wow,
the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and it's on it's gonna fall apart now, but it's on an actual ball joint, so you can have them
oh
float
shit.
around in
Okay,
circles.
break it.
No, just came off the thing. But yeah, that's the Cosmic Ghost Rider. So, like,
See,
you're not gonna find that in the shop.
no,
You
see,
might
this is
find a
what
pop though.
I am noticing things like that as well. As there's sometimes like and another place you put me onto as well was Big Bang Comics, which is kind of making it easier, as you were even saying, to get stuff that you would have had to go.
That's where I got that.
Yeah, so like you would have had to have gone to like Amazon or across the pond to UK or something to get a lot of the other stuff that we wouldn't have to find here at home in Limerick. Um, so so I think that's been pretty cool to have like a store that you can actually still get the stuff and some better stuff, you know. But it's so weird because I mean I look at my like I look at like you collect you genuinely have like you have your different like things you like Star Wars, Mortal Kombat, X-Men, and things like that, and but you have a couple of random ones as well. But I think overall it's your collecting is specific to certain like lines, right?
Yeah.
I've always like looked at my action figure collecting, dropping things here, but
We're as
just
bad
the
as each other
collecting
today.
I do with the action figures and things is very much like my ADHD. It's it's or my music taste. It's very eclectic. It's very all over the place. It's like, oh, I'll buy Todd McFarlane. Oh, I just bought it. Oh yeah, I'll buy The Crow this week. Oh man, I just bought a rack of Funko Pops.
Dude, I'm the same. Mine is
Oh,
all over the place.
yeah.
Like from where I can sit without looking at stuff behind me, I can see He-Man, I can see the Joker, I can see Shredder, I can see Power Rangers, I can see Predators, Sonic the Hedgehog, Crash Bandicoot, Street Fighter. What a mix, like.
Do you know something? As I
And
said,
hold
it's like
on,
music, man. You're very. Oh, you
Garand.
got him. Yeah, he actually arrives. Deadly. I saw actually going off that. I saw a video online. I'll have to send you a link to it. It's amazing. It's crazy, and this is related to action figures because obviously people get action figures and they customize them and they make them even better
Mm.
sometimes. This was it was a Christopher Reeve Superman, and I can't remember was it Metcalf?
Mezco. Mayfix,
Mezco?
Mayfix, Mayfix.
Mayfix or Mezco? But it's one of the bigger ones. It was one of like the with the
It's the
it was the
cloth, is it?
well, no, the suit obviously wasn't. Do you know what I mean? But the cape was cloth and everything. It's what they did to it. They took the entire thing, and I think it might have been like a 12-inch figure, like one of the bigger ones. But they completely altered the entire action figure, to look like Geralt. From did I say
Witcher.
that? Probably butchered the name.
No, you have it. Geralt.
Or
whatever,
The
Geralt.
Witcher, but they completely made it look like Henry Cavill. In The Witcher. Hello, Grace.
Hello, Father.
Yeah?
I'm going.
She's after.
My
Are
room.
you going to bed?
Hello, Brian.
Hello, how are you?
She tends to do this sometimes. She tends to like crash my interviews. I think, Joe, what I think it is, Brian. I think she wants cameos. You know, she gets a cameo on the show.
Special guest star.
Garden. Right.
Yeah.
Right, my dear.
Hi, Brian.
Bye.
Yeah. So what was I saying? I was on about. Oh yeah, the action figure.
The custom.
Yeah, so they completely customized it from scratch, man. I mean, it's like they put swords on this, they put the hair, they grazed the beard in and everything, and it was one of those, you know, it looked like Christopher Reeves to a point. Obviously, it was a scale model, but
I think I saw it actually. Kind of, yeah.
it's insane. But like by the time they were done with it, it looked like the one you just showed me there, but in a much bigger scale. You know, it actually looked like that, and they took it and they turned the eyes, cut. What is it, yellow and everything. Oh,
Yellow.
yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it on to you because it's a genuinely crazy figure. But now that I'm talking about figures, I'm looking for my other segue point here. We were talking about Funko Pops and we were talking about all these different things. Because I know, looking from your collection, that you're very much out of box and display. And as you know with me, now it's not that and it's a weird one. It's not that I like to keep them in the boxes. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's a weird one, or I explain it to you. You've known me long enough to know that my brain is mental, all right, and how I think. So if I'm having a good day, I'll open that box and I'll take it out and I put it on a shelf. It's just as we've explained, I don't have the room as it is at the moment to display them, so I just keep them boxed. If I had get to a point where I have a room and I can display them and stuff, they will go on shelves and I'll get units and things and they'll all go up. But some days my ADHD brain goes mental even to the aspect of taking it out of the box because I'm like, oh my God, what if I take it out and it ends up being, you know, like worth something, or it looks so good in the box and I wreck the package, and I go into these like spirals of madness about a fucking action figure in a box. But getting to my point is, are you completely against people leaving figures in action, like action figures in the boxes, or is it just more of a preference choice for you to take them out and display them, or do you just think is that just your kind of design?
To me, like,
in a way,
I don't care what anyone else does. If I'm honest, like, no, some people, like, I've seen. How do I say this? I know a Star Wars collector, for example, right?
Yeah.
He has every single one of the Star Wars Black Series Red collection, which is the first ones that came out, or something like that anyway. And he has a display, right? It's like so those like metal workbench shelves.
Yes.
He has one of them behind him, right? And you see it in his videos. It just looks like a wall of red. And to me, I'm like, why? What's the point?
Well, are they in box?
They're in box, right? But they're sideways, not facing out or not facing back.
Oh,
if you get me.
Like the way you have in the
They're just
background there.
They're just showing the numbers of the figures. Each figure is numbered. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And to me, it's just like, why? Like, what's the point? Now, I get people having them out like that, showing the figure in the box. Some of the figures are class that way.
Yeah.
I have I can't reach it from where I am now, but I have a G.I. Joe Supreme Cobra Commander left in the box because I have two G.I. Joe Cobra Commanders already, but this one it's like a convention exclusive, so it looks class. Yeah. And I don't think I couldn't even try. I tried reviewing it and I couldn't bring myself to open it.
No, and because the reason I say it to you as well is because you know obviously anyone that knows me really, because I talk about it all the time, but Brian more than anyone knows this, that like one of my favorite cartoons of all time is Batman the animated TV show.
Mm.
I absolutely love it. And like in my late 30s now, when I'm just still watching it, Brian would text me some nights and go like, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "What do you think I'm doing?" He's like, "You're watching Batman, again, aren't you?" And it's just so fucking funny that I am. But no, but it's because I have obviously the red card Batman the animated figures, like Robin and Commissioner Gordon and things like that. And you know, and then you get older, and because I've never opened them up, and then you realize these are actually worth a few quid. But then you get, I think, like look, I've never been like that with figures. I just kind of buy what I like. But it's crazy to think that like the longer you leave it in a box, the more value it has. You know what I mean?
Not always true though.
But yeah, because the point I'm getting to now is, but that used to be my mindset of it, was like that's how I used to think about it. It was like that. But now I'm starting to see figures out of box going for more than what you would ever think they'd go for, on lines that are no longer like created or made, which is mad to think. Like that I was kind of, I didn't even think that was a thing.
Like for example, there's in the Marvel Legends community, there is a Marvel Legends Rogue who came out in the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave, who at one point was fetching upwards of €100 without her accessories, without her box, because it's the only it's the only time that particular Jim Lee Rogue has been made. Now, since they re-released her on a retro card, which I think I showed you before.
Yeah,
and I got her for like
Big Bang
20
comics,
quid.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
that
for
Big
21
Bang,
quid plus post or whatever. But I had that Juggernaut one, right? That crazy one. And as you know, I had a lot of car trouble in the last year or so.
Yeah, so you had to get rid of it.
I sold her on eBay for, what was it, €85? And like I literally put it up at Buy It Now for 85, and it was gone the day after.
Yeah, because I
could have put it up for more.
I mean, I'm learning more about the collector side of it now, obviously through yourself and a few other lads now, but mainly through yourself, because like obviously you're one of my best mates, and that's your show and that's your shtick, and that's kind of a ton about it. So I am learning as I go with it, and man, I'm mind bended to see this stuff. Like I can't understand how anyone would pay. Like I saw, obviously, it's crazy. I rebought the Batman the animated TV show Batman, or I bought the Todd McFarlane release, the new one, and obviously next to the original red card version of Robin, it's perfectly sized, because Robin is now smaller than Batman instead of being the same size.
That's because McFarlane are too big.
Yeah, so for that instance, it worked for being a 7-inch figure next to a 5-inch. I think they don't even think they were 6-inch.
I think the other ones are. Yeah,
I don't even think they were 6-inch figures. But yeah, but it's mind blowing. Like I mean, I went down obviously like to see like could I get like Two Face or like Scarecrow and things like that. You know what I mean? Like for the original animated show, and man, these things were going for like $200 and $300, man. So I was going,
that's probably because they were probably like store exclusives or something like that.
Well, like they don't make them anymore. The line's completely gone. So I understand it now. Now they've become collector's items. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy, because I mean, like, I was only, did I tell you as well as like obviously the my twin daughters have started playing the PS4 now. They're 4 years old, obviously. Anyone that doesn't know them, but I started buying them a rake of Lego games. Like Incredibles and DC Villains, I got to about a week ago, I think, for them. But they're loving it, man, because it's just completely just fun, absolutely just chaotic fun. So
I just thought of your line in that film we did together, because you were like, they're loving this. They're loving this, father.
Oh my God, yeah, the Boston accent from Intervention.
Intervention, that was it. Oh, it just crossed my mind as you said that.
No, but come here, Roger. The fact that it actually, like, that reminded you of that is all good. It's. I mean, you know yourself. I still have like a 50-50 slant on that accent, and I still to this
but
day
you
don't think I nailed
did
it anywhere close to what I should have. But then again, obviously, I'm just a crazy person in my own head. I could have nailed it and be like, no, it's not good enough,
You
But,
fucking nailed it, father. Don't be fucking getting so mad.
all right, father, not a
Oh,
bother.
Jesus.
So, but no, but let me tell you a question.
Classic Limerick saying.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a question,
does
kid.
see? I gotta understand, right? I keep pointing to you this way, but you're probably at that side.
I'm
So I'm gonna
everywhere,
have to keep
Tubbs,
pointing
just
this
like
way.
God.
I'll figure it out eventually. But no, what as I said, like so I'm playing a lot of like the Lego games at the moment with the kids. Oh, obviously the reason I ask you this is because like you don't have kids, so it's yes. And you ask yourself, who's the winning one here?
Winning.
I don't know which. See, as I said, I don't know what direction this is going to place in the final edit because Zoom is funny like that. But yeah, but have you ever played them, or have you ever like? Do you enjoy them, or do you like, or are they just games you just tend to stay away from in general?
Lego.
Yeah, the Lego game.
I absolutely loved the first Lego Marvel superheroes game. I played it to death. It was like it was set in New York, wasn't it? You could go pretty
It
much
was a big open
anywhere.
world game.
And there was so many like obscure characters that I knew nobody else would know. It's like, oh yes,
Yeah.
they do this and that and the other thing. And
Um,
Lord of the Rings was awesome as well.
and you know
And
the
of
worst
course,
thing?
Star Wars games to start off.
Now, do you know that obviously you do because you're a big gamer and you're a nerd like me? Do you like the Skywalker saga has been released in the spring?
On Lego.
All 9 movies, fully voiced. Because the reason I said is because in the older Star Wars games they never voiced them.
But I loved the charm of that. I loved that they didn't have voices. I think the voices ruined it a little bit.
Oh, do you know what it was for me? And it was when you said about the Lord of the Rings one, and it's so annoying that like the Jurassic Park Lego transferred to PS4 and Xbox. You know, all the other ones they kind of came over. Whatever happened with the Lord of the Rings game,
I think they lost the
licensing,
license or something.
it's the licensing issues or whatever it was, it never came over to next gen. And I was so fucking sickened because I actually loved it. Like you know me, I'm gonna get Brian another on another night at some point to just deep dive and talk about Lord of the Rings because I don't know where you land on it, but
I loved Lord of the Rings.
so it's gonna be a good show. We're gonna like geek out all over it. So
I can watch Sean Bean being killed every day.
yeah, so it's so for me it's one of those things where I just loved that version because it just and I think which was the weird thing. I think I could be wrong, but I think I'm right on this one. I think Lord of the Rings was the first Lego game that had full soundtrack and voiceovers.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so for me it was just it was no longer. This is why I'm saying it. It no longer felt like a kid's game. It just felt like a fun version of a trilogy that you loved. Do you know what I mean? Because the last Lord of the Rings game that I remember playing that I actually liked, because there was a heck of amount before Shadow of War, obviously the Mordor games, I just loved them. But before they came out on next gen, and
No,
maybe
there was
PS3.
there was the Two Towers and stuff on PS2.
Yeah,
I think.
you know what I mean. Is I mean, but you remember on the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, there was a lot of these like Middle Earth, you hit me, I hit you games, kind of like the old Final Fantasy games, and they weren't
RTS
good.
games, Tubbs.
Yeah, and they were like
Real-time
top-down
strategy.
conquest. Is that what they're called? Because I just don't know. But but they're like top-down conquest games and things like that. But it was go back to the Two Towers and Return of the King on PS2. Those games were epic, man. They
They
were
were classic.
so good. But no, it was with the Lego games. It was like the Incredibles and DC Villains and Jurassic, the Jurassic Park, games and it's crazy because I played them with my older daughter, as you saw in the video a while ago. When she was younger, now she's obviously older, and the younger ones are starting to play them. So I'm getting to kind of like replay a lot of the old games again. And I don't know. I just think they're so much fun.
Yeah, they're
Unlocking
class. They're easy
characters.
accessible as well. Like
It is, Joe. It is. It's like we were talking about before about like just turning on like an easy show at night. Like if your brain's not working, there are games you can just throw on and just play for an hour and
until you start doing those puzzles.
yeah. This is another thing about these Lego games.
There is a challenge in there as well. Like.
And tell me a 4-year-old that's clearing this game. You know, I mean, people probably goes like it's Lego Tubs. Man, there's some of these challenges I'm going to go to like. They're not built for just kids anymore. Do you know what I mean? This is the point I'm trying to make you. I think these are designed for adults because they know adults are going to probably be playing these with kids.
100%.
So they'll make some of the challenges so the adults have to interact with the kid, to help the kid with the puzzle and so on and so forth. So adults end up interacting with these.
Or the kid
games.
helps the adult with the puzzle.
Very much so, because some adults just don't get the gaming thing. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about gaming in general, and during years, like we've been told, "Oh, you play video games, Joe.
You'll melt your brain.
Mess up your brain, man." If I have any advice to give anyone, if you are having trouble focusing, put on a fucking good game. Like put on a video game, and you will fucking tunnel vision. Now, not everyone, because not everyone has the interest. But I mean, if you're a gamer, man, I concentrate so much on games, man. Like I should be getting paid by the hour. You know, genuinely.
If only you could always
treat it like a job when I'm playing it. It's not in a non-fun way, but you know what I mean. I'm laser focused when I play a game. Like Days Gone.
Yeah,
you've obviously started that.
Yeah, amazing game.
I mentioned this on one of the shows before. Is we both know Paddy Murphy, and we both know. Hello, Paddy. Paddy's a completionist when it comes to gaming. Like once he starts, he has to have the platinum, and he just keeps going.
Platinum hunter.
And you know me, and I know Paddy. Obviously, me and Paddy have talked about that before. I'm a very big story-based gamer. I love a good story.
Same.
I've never played for platinum trophies and things like that. But Days Gone, I couldn't put that thing down. Like I was laser focused into this game until I got the platinum trophy, and that doesn't happen very often. So yes, certain games I do like, and I would recommend. I think I recommend that you would already play it anyway, but I'd recommend it to anyone. Anyone that's listening to this, Days Gone is amazing.
It's got one of those hooks where you finish one mission and you're like, oh, it's 20 past whatever, I think I'll go to bed now. I'll just do this one more mission.
Yeah.
And then it's another hour later and you're like, oh, fuck.
I mean, obviously, like as I said, I mean, like we could even do an entire episode on that once you finish it or whatever. You know,
definitely.
But you know what I mean? That could be a meaty episode and obviously you don't want to talk too much about it for anyone that hasn't played it yet or cleared it or whatever. But I just do. I think genuinely, for me personally, it was a surprising one because I know a lot of people slept on that game when that first came out.
I would add Ghosts of Tsushima to that list as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people.
That's the next one you need to play.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, since you played my game, I gotta play yours. You know.
Well, I haven't finished Ghosts of Tsushima either, but I'm going back to it after Days Gone.
Yeah. Well, but for me, it was one of those things, Brian, where it was like, because I do remember a lot of people slept on that game. They really didn't. They heard bad reviews and issues, and you've started it recently, haven't you? You've gone back to it recently, so it's like it's fully patched up, it's fully fixed. I mean, obviously, that's never going to start the game 100% because I think a few weeks ago I sent you like a photograph that I had broken the game. The map I had literally like I was doing like donut rings, whatever, and I literally like the map shifted, so there was like nothing between the ground and the building. So I was like, I actually broke the game, and it's fully patched.
Well, you got a big facelift on PS5 as well, so it looks amazing.
Yeah, see, and this is the thing. I haven't got the PS5 yet, so I haven't seen that facelift. I haven't, I mean, a big issue with people I know was the loading times on it. But as we talked about,
pretty much.
No, but I mean, but as we talked about on the PS4, I think I understand why the loading times were so long because of how much was going on in the entire world. You know, with the weather changes and, you know, it's just everything that was in it. You can see it with the GTA games as well, you know what I mean, and all that. They're big load times because there's so much in it. But yeah, I mean, like, so yeah, we're eating into video games here. So I think I'm gonna jump on to like one last question before we wrap up, because coming to the end of the interview, or it's not even an interview. This one's not an interview. This is
It's
just
a chat.
this is the boys chatting. We're chatting like boys do, man. Do you know what I mean? Look at us, we're boys. We're chatting. Loving
Lads.
it. We're fucking loving it. But yeah, this year, obviously, we talked about games, we've talked about Funko Pops and action figures, and then the other shows, you know, we've rambled about movies and everything else. And now the fact we're in 2021 and there's a massive catalogue of like stuff that we don't know is going to be in cinemas or coming straight to our TV through streaming. So I just, before we go, my last question to you is, out of all the movies that are coming out, what are 3 top movies that you're looking forward to this year? That you're looking forward to watching?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever way that is. And let me think now about the last one. Like, like if Black Widow comes out and the other 3 come out, or the other 2 come out as well, Eternals, if that releases this year, I'm so looking forward to. That'll be my 3rd one, Eternals.
Yeah, I'm with you on
if it comes out.
But see, as I said, and isn't that crazy that it's all balanced on an if? Do you know what I mean? It's scheduled, or it's rumored to be scheduled to come out this year, but did not.
Well, like, to be fair, it was originally scheduled to be out last November, so I presume it'll be out, because they're going to have to stop TV shows then, because they'll run into continuity issues and stuff.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but they've finished shooting that, right?
They've finished Black Widow, they've finished Eternals, and they've finished Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings.
But yeah, so I mean, they're
I'm all in
Marvel.
the can, like.
Yeah, I'm not Marvel, and I don't like run their post production. But you would think that with COVID and everything else, that like the fact that they're getting these shows done, that they would have those 3 movies that are fully shot, like waiting to go to fill up this year, so they can get like Thor and Spider-Man and whatever else is being shot, kind of like go ready for next year. But it's a weird thing, you know what I mean? Things got pushed back last year. Who the hell knows, it could get pushed back this year again? And you know, June could happen, and we could all wake up and go, "Oh my God,
we're all in a simulation." So.
It's New Year's Day in 2020. What the hell happened? I had this horrible dream. Wow. Yeah.
Don't come back.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat is definitely coming out, and
Mortal Kombat is definitely on my list.
So happy to see that, because
Black Widow.
We've been waiting years for a new Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm praying it doesn't disappoint, because it is from Warner Brothers after all.
And I will make a statement. In 2021, at some point, I will rewatch Point Break.
Reboot.
No, God, no. It's got to be the Keanu and the Swayze, man. Do you know what I mean?
I have already watched the reboot. No,
the original Point Break.
Everybody loves Johnny Utah, man.
I love Johnny Utah, man. Oh, fucking yeah, that was my jam. Like, I loved
Patrick Swayze with his Tarlots.
But I mean, I went through a weird, like, I mean, not a weird. People used to say that about Keanu Reeves back in the day, man. Just like, oh yeah, I was like, I went through this weird phase where I like Keanu Reeves movies. I was like, Keanu Reeves is fucking cool. He's awesome, you know. Like, back in the day, he might not have been like the best actor, you know. He wasn't in the best movies. But I guarantee you, tenor, you name a film that Keanu Reeves is in, you remember it. You know, Speed. You know, like Johnny Mnemonic. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
It was the Matrix before the Matrix happened. You know, you remember these things because he might not have been.
Keanu Reeves gets by because he's such an awesome person in real life.
You know what, man? And you know, I don't know him personally. You don't know him personally, but from the things I've heard,
just from the stories, yeah.
we need more people like that in the entertainment industry. You know?
And he's had a horrible run of things as well.
Exactly, and still, as we said before, still able to stand up straight and still put on a smile. You know, and still look 35 at 55. You know,
Well, all
fucking-
that money will have helped.
it's insane. I've always said that Keanu Reeves is the reverse human. Because if I shave my face, this beard off, I look way younger. And when Keanu Reeves shaves his face, he looks older.
Yeah,
So weird. And I only
I'm
say
like
that
that as
because
well.
of the new Bill and Ted movie that came out. He looked way older. Like, I was
So
like,
weird,
"What
isn't it?
the fuck?" It was like mental. But yeah, so man, this has been like an absolute blast, as always. We just,
Definitely.
as I said a few minutes ago, we're just boys. We're bantering. We're just lads. And we're talking.
The Banter Boys.
Look at us. It's great crack. We're boys. We're boys. We're chatting. The boys are going to say good luck now because we've chatted our arses off. So yeah, for another show has passed. Another guest and a Brian Regan appearance has showed up. This is the Twisted Tubs podcast. I am your host, Stephen Tubley, aka Twisted Tubs. And he is Brian Regan, aka Action Figure Reviews. Go check out his channel. He does fucking loads of shit. We will fucking see you again soon because we're going to talk about Point Break and Keanu Reeves and whatever fucking crazy stuff we can get in our eyeballs. Pepper Tubs. See you later.